Welcome to another week here on Instigating with Clarkey and Drury. Ryan Drury, Clarkey, a very happy Clarkey.
Yeah, pick up the pace a little bit, Ryan. Come on, second round.
Happy Clarkey. We're very pleased to be joined by our good friend and the man we turn to when we want some coaching analysis, the coach himself, Mr. Jason Brooks. Brooksy, how are you guys feeling? We'll start with you, Brooksy. The Leafs did it. They actually won something. They rose to an occasion. They're in the second round. Your thoughts on them finally closing someone out?
Well, look, it's been 19 years of waiting for this moment, and for it to happen the way it did, I'll give them full marks. 3 overtime victories. Doing it on the road like they did it. They played good hockey, I thought, in that overtime game in Game 6. For the most part, I mean, the goal against, as a coach, always bothers you. 2 guys in front of the net, and Guy Barry's a guy like Stamkos. You may want to keep your eye on him, but that's for another day, because it didn't matter when Tavares scored that goal. And, just relief, I think, as a Leaf fan. Hey, Clarkey, as a Leaf fan, it was relief. It just kind of, I seen, clips of guys ripping the monkey off their back. and at the end of the day, I think that's legit. That feeling of elation to get to the next round, and anything's possible.
Yeah, for sure. Relief is the word. And after the loss in Game 5 at home, you're thinking, "Oh man, here we go again," right? But they did it. We're on to round 2. I'm hesitant to say they've won anything. Yes, they've won a round, I guess, but they haven't won what the ultimate goal should be here. So we'll see how it goes from here forward. But yes, we're into the second round. They're one of 8 teams left. And boy, oh boy, when you look at the other teams that are not around, it seems like the path may be open here. I don't want to get too excited or ahead of myself, but with Boston losing in the first round, Florida, though, tough opponent, obviously, winning the first game as we record this on Wednesday night before Game 2. Florida gave it to the Leafs on Tuesday, but I'd still rather face Florida than Boston at the end of the day. Brooksy, what do you think about that? Do they, first of all, when a team is looking like they're going to hit a team like Boston and then gets Florida, what goes through your mind?
Well, I think I'm going to use that relief word again. I think they climbed a hurdle in Tampa, and that was a big hurdle to climb. But I think they looked up the mountain still at Boston thinking, oh, what's next? And that's a great team, and they had a great season, and all those pieces they added, everything that goes along with the Bruins. And to see Florida upset them, you kind of, I don't want to say the stars align, but to your point, you see Boston fall, and then you see the Rangers fall.
Right.
And I mean, I think, you look at the path that you just, spoke of, that's a big deal for Toronto, because, the door is open here for them.
It is.
Take advantage of, and not, like you say, it's not going to be easy. Florida, again, last night played phenomenal. They're aggressive. It's a new challenge for the Leafs. Their D are so aggressive. Everything's a pinch. They're very physical. Tkachuk is playing like a man possessed. Bennett's playing like a man possessed. I mean, this is a good hockey team. And I think the wild card for Florida is Bobrovsky, right? Toronto didn't see him down the stretch as much. They saw the Lion, goaltender, and played very well for them. But Bobrovsky's got, a very good resume, very good history, and, he can put this team on their back, so to speak, and give Toronto a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Clarkey, you mentioned all the teams that aren't around. Producer Adam, I know he's got our review of our picks for round 1. I think overall we did okay, but man, there were some upsets in round 1. Let's talk about producer Adam's Colorado Avalanche. I mean, they are gone.
Picks. There's your picks, Ryan. So who'd you have?
My picks.
Nope. Stars, yes. Jets, nope. Oilers, yes. Bruins, nope. Leafs. Hey, right in 6 games. Good going. Islanders, Rangers. Boy, you got those 2. What did you get? How many did you get right, buddy?
I got the Stars, Oilers, Leafs. That's
3.
it.
Holy smokes. We should have put money on this.
That's the playoffs. What about, let's have a look at your picks, and then we gotta get.
Well, I think I got
Brooksy's
6. I think I got 6 right.
You don't have the
Stars right. No, but I got the Stars.
You had the Knights and Oilers. So
the Oilers
tied me.
Leafs, Hurricanes, Devils. There you go. 6. I got 6.
Okay,
right.
yeah, you did much better than me. Congratulations. No good at golf picks though, but I'll say that you had a good pick there in the first round. I hope you got a playoff tree going. Brooksy, I mean, obviously, let's just get this out of the way. The Bruins loss is the most shocking one. I mean, when you have a regular season, literally a record-setting regular season, which is now, completely meaningless. Like, no one's going to look back. People are going to look back, especially Bruins fans, on that team with disdain, because you can't play that well in the regular season and lose in the first round. You just cannot do it. Trust me, as a Caps fan, I know. And you're going to look back on that group, and Bruins fans are going to hate that roster for a long time. Beyond that one, what was the most surprising one for you? Was it Devils? Was it the Kraken? What are your thoughts?
I'm going to go with Seattle.
Yeah.
Off. I mean, that's all that experience in Colorado, winning a cup, last year, and then facing Seattle, who had a fantastic season, but year 2 of their whole history kind of thing. And here they are doing what they did to Colorado and the way they did it. I mean, Grubauer played great. I mean, for them when they needed them, had timely goals from timely people that, again, weren't necessarily wanted by their original clubs, right? That's the remarkable part about it. It's Vegas 2.0 minus a year, right? So good on them. I think it's great to see, and they're going to be a fun team to watch. A little bit like Florida in a way, how fast and how aggressive they play, and they're very active, and give teams a lot of trouble to play against.
And the other one that I wanted to ask you both about are the Rangers. Like, I did pick the Devils to win that series, but after the first 2 games, when the Rangers won, and like their stars disappeared. Like Panarin, I don't think he got a point in the last 6 games, did he? Like he was nowhere. And all those guys they added at the deadline, like you said, Brooksy, it's like that has got to be very disappointing for the Rangers. And I'm glad they're out of the way, because I thought they were going to be a big, tough team that the Leafs might have to get through at some point. But boy, those guys just disappeared. And Patrick Kane and Tarasenko really didn't live up to their billing coming over from the trade deadline. But Panarin's the guy who, to me, just totally disappeared. And what's the Lafreniere? I don't think he got anything. I think it was zeros across the board for the whole series.
No points.
Nothing.
No points, minus player. It was, I don't think he had any shots or hits in the last game. Now he's still a young guy, and I would, urge caution. That team, remember, that team sent essentially a breakup letter to the fans in 2019 and basically said, we're tearing this thing down. Like, ultimately, I think that for a very long number of years, they're kind of in a similar place to where the Leafs were a couple years ago. They got a really bright future ahead with a lot of really good young pieces locked in for a long time, including Ryan, that goalie.
Ryan, is it too early to call him Nail Yakupov? Like, is it too early?
Yeah. Okay. He's already better than anything Yakupov ever did. Like, you can't even find that guy. He's in the mountains of Russia somewhere in a cave. Like that dude has disappeared. Like, no, he's not Yakupov. I think that ultimately, it's just one of those things where he's a victim, if you will, of first pick syndrome. Mm-hmm. Not every first overall pick it is McDavid and Ovi and Matthews. Like, sometimes it's just a year where it's not that guy. And
the Rangers were lucky to get him. That was the COVID draft where they came out of nowhere.
Did they not jump up 7 spots or something?
Least. Like, they were the one team in that second tier that got the ball in the right spot, and then they did another lottery the next day to determine the winner. But it was crazy.
You're right. I wouldn't freak out too much. Disappointed, obviously, because the Rangers look at the Devils like their little brother. Little brother's making some noise, man. Jack Hughes, that Akira Schmid kid. You're right. 5-1 in game 1 and 2 for the Rangers. Patrick Kane was rocking and rolling, looking like old school Showtime. And then all of a sudden, man, the Devils just put a clinic on. Like, props to them. And I love Lindy Ruff. So, I mean, you know, I'm happy for him and everything like that. It'll be good. And they're probably going to give, you know, some teams some trouble, including the team that they're playing in the second round. Obviously, I actually we'll touch on this later with our second round picks. I like them to beat Carolina, a depleted Carolina. Brooksy, I want to ask you though about the Leafs, and you know, obviously you mentioned the overtime wins. I saw a stat, and Clarkey, I'm sure you saw this on Twitter. I tweeted this after I saw this stat. You know how I've told you for years, if they can just get through the first round,
you piss me off.
Yes, you're a whiner. I said if they can get through the first round, I think it might be the rocket fuel they need to send them on a big run. After I saw this stat the night they won, I quote tweeted and said they're winning the cup. I think they're winning the cup. They are the first team. I was shocked by this, actually. What are we, 106 years of NHL history now? They're the first team ever to win 3 overtime games in a series, all on the road. I was blown away by that. Remember, 93 Montreal
they won 10 games.
They won 10 games in overtime. They didn't do 3. It's shocking. And I saw that and thought, wow, like they handled a lot of adversity, and they did it. They really did. Brooksy, when you look at the matchup with Florida, you know, they're a sneaky team here, because remember, they won this team, largely the same roster, won the President's Trophy last year. They set a record that the Bruins broke. They were disappointed. They get bounced by Tampa. And then, you know, they come back now with Tkachuk in the mix. They flip Huberdeau. He's become an even bigger superstar there. He's playing as well as anybody. You never know what you're going to get with Bob. He's a Vezina winner one year, and then he looks like the worst goalie in the world the next. How do you think the Leafs need to match up against these guys? We got to look at it in game 1. What would you tweak? Is there anything that you saw that you'd maybe adjust for game 2?
Well, I think it was talked about a lot in the broadcast was, you know, their forechecking pressure and the aggressiveness of their defense coming down the walls and pinching, and somehow, some way they got to break that pressure without, you know, forcing passes and forcing plays. You know, I think we talked about this ad nauseum when I've been on your show, guys, is, you know, Toronto at their best is when they're making simple plays because they've got the firepower to do it, right? They get into trouble forcing stuff, and like the third goal last night, you know, McCabe tries to jump into the rush, tries to join the play. You know, play breaks down, probably wasn't the best time to jump in like he did. Brody makes kind of a 50-50 read that backfires, and then Verhaeghe's been hot as hot, goes in and rips one home. You can't make plays like that in the playoffs. And that's Toronto's nemesis. But getting back to the Brady breaks,
who do you blame there? Brody or both? Or McCabe? Both. Yeah. Okay.
Both. It's a read, right? Like, McCabe jumps up in the rush. If they score, everybody says it's a great play by McCabe. Mm-hmm. But it's a 50-50 play at best. It wasn't a great odd man situation. Okay. Florida had bodies back. The puck comes back out. Brody's in a 50-50 puck race, and you can see him look over his shoulder, thinking somebody's coming. Yeah. And then he goes and he's caught, and Duclair does a good job of eating the puck and then bouncing it over to Verhaeghe, who had put initial pressure on Brody. So if he holds, Brody holds, you know, take the rush, accept the rush, play it as a 2-on-1. Hopefully, you know, force them to bide their time a little bit, bring a back checker back to disrupt it. That's what you're playing for. You can't give up the breakaway in that case.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I thought that Brody pushed too far up and almost pinched in the neutral zone.
You got caught in between, it looked like to me. Like
without good support there, but then
peeling back or going up.
McCabe's earlier, the last defender back there is too far away. Brody gets in too tight to the puck along the wall there and loses, like you said, Brooksy, that 50-50 battle. The other defender is too far to the side. I mean, Verhaeghe had a big, wide open strip of highway. And again, it's those 50-50 puck battles that tend to tilt this series. Now it's one game, and Florida, as dangerous as they are, and maybe they feel like it's their year to have the big run because they had that historic season last year. It really didn't work out for them. They got definitely bitten by the President's Trophy curse. They're the initiators of the curse this year. And now they're playing a Toronto team where everyone is saying, oh, Toronto's favorited. Toronto's the favorite. The hope, obviously, is that the Leafs don't take too deep of a breath after getting over that 19-year hurdle and let the Panthers take control of this series. The Panthers, they have a really aggressive forecheck too. Kachuk gets in there. Sam Bennett turns into a freak he turns into the third overall pick that he was in the playoffs. He always has like kind of so regular seasons. The kid gets in the playoffs and he turns into his idol, Dougie Gilmore, and it's unbelievable. Barkov has just kind of had a quiet little year. He always scares me. Ekblad, Montour's turned into a hell of a player for these guys. I want to look back again just quickly, though. Well, Gudas,
you got to watch him.
He's their boogeyman, right?
Yeah, you got to keep your head up.
He's the boogeyman out there. He's Gracie. Now, I want to look back quickly, though, and give them a little more flowers on round one. I saw a lot of people debating this online. In your estimation, I don't know if there's really a wrong answer here because you could make an argument. Who do you feel, Brooksy, was the MVP of Toronto's first round win?
It's a valid question.
I know who I think it was, but.
Well, I mean, you can go through, but I mean, I've talked about this guy before, and I mean, I know he was the first overall pick, but Austin Matthews, he scored timely goals, but he played great defense. And that's an area that, we talk about 60 goals, we talk about 40 goals, but blocking shots, hits, again, I'm not the stats guy like you or Ryan and Clarkey, but you guys,
I'm not either.
Staggering, weren't they? He led the team in blocked shots again in the playoffs, and he was right up there in hits with Shen and the boys that are expected to hit. I mean, these are things that I think as Leaf fans, we always looked at him and said, he's going to score, but can he do the other stuff? And he's done that. And I mean, it would be a quiet MVP of the series. I'd give Ryan O'Reilly, props. I mean, they brought him in to be that guy, be a leader, and, scores the tying goals, wins the face-off to lead to an overtime goal, blocks a shot, right? These are intangibles that can't be forgotten. Maybe Samsonov, right? The guy won the series even though he wasn't perfect. I mean, it's the ugliest MVP award I think I'd ever hand out, but he got the job done. So
yes, he did.
Those are my kind of guesses, but I'd love to hear yours.
Well, I think Morgan
Clarkey,
Riley's got to be. Yeah, Morgan Riley's got to be right near
That's
the top.
my guy.
Yeah, Morgan Riley, I thought played outstanding after what I consider a subpar year. He was hurt a lot and didn't really find his stride. But I thought as a fan watching that he really came into his own in the playoffs, and I hope he can continue to do that. And the other guy, before you jump in, Ryan, is Johnny T. I just thought John Tavares played well and scoring the overtime winner in Game 6. Man, oh man, I thought of Ryan and all the harassment I've taken over the years because he blames Johnny T's signing for the lack of this team's success. Well, if they win the cup, we're all good, Ryan. We're all good.
Well, I think saying that I blame him is a little harsh. That's not what I
we could
said.
go back to the tapes, but whatever.
Well, my whole point was,
I know what your point.
7
we don't
years,
have to rehash that.
5 years now with him there, and they've done what? Now finally they break through. Mm-hmm. Good. His second time ever in the second round. Coincidentally, the first time he did, he scored a Game 6 overtime winner against who? the Florida Panthers.
That's right.
When he was still with the Islanders. So I agree with that. Morgan Riley, yeah, I agree. When you look at his defensive metrics, which I know people don't have a lot of time for the fancy numbers and stuff, his defensive metrics were very, very good. As a matter of fact, you talk about the year, this is actually why it fits into my narrative of him being the MVP. And you can talk about Marner, 11 points, leading the league, all that stuff.
Give me a break.
My whole thing, I won't take the Mitch slander anymore, Clarkey. My whole thing with Riley, though, that's what fits into my narrative here. He struggled this year. People were on him, signed this new contract. Where's the player that we think we know? Injuries. His defensive metrics were almost, especially in the last 4 games, 30% better than when he was playing in the regular season. So not only did he provide great offense, scored a huge goal in that series, had a bunch of beautiful assists and rush breakups. I thought his stick work was fantastic. He brought a very elevated, that's what you want from guys. We talk about it all the time. Raise your game in the important 30%. That's raising the stakes there. Morgan spun the roulette table and he bet it all on black and he hammered it.
So
he was great.
Team Corsi says Riley was good, aka Ryan. What about Team Eye Test? Brooksy as a coach, what do you think?
Team Corsi.
I thought Luke Schenn really played well as his partner.
Yeah, he settled him down.
Luke Schenn was way better than I thought he was.
Yeah, I hear everything you guys are saying about Morgan Riley. Don't get me wrong. Like he did have a great playoff first round, but Ryan, to you, just from a coaching perspective, so far, like highest paid defenseman on our team, you're on the Leafs. You're looking at him to be that leader, that go-to guy throughout the whole season, and how poorly he played. To jump that much to probably play more like what the expectation should be.
Yep.
Right. He met the expectation in the playoff, and good on him. Good on him to raise his game to that level. But why did it take to get to this point to find it? I still say Luke Schenn has a lot to do with that. He did settle him down. He gave him that physical presence, because I think that was the big concern going into the first round was their deep pairings and Luke Schenn playing with them, and what was that going to do to Riley's game? And they worked really well together.
Okay, let's dive into one guy who played in some games and didn't play in Game 6. Have we seen the end of Justin Holl?
No.
Is there any way this guy's going to get back in a game?
Yes.
I hope not.
He will. He will. Brooksy?
I honestly, I'm gonna sound like a fan and not a coach here. I hope not, but the poor fella's a lightning rod for goals. Whether it's his fault or not, he just seems to be that lightning rod. But you know what? I kind of agree, Ryan. Things are going to happen in this playoff, and he's going to get his chance and opportunity again. And hopefully he can give quality minutes when he's in there. I think if he's going to be in, though, guys, I think you're going to see 11 and 7. I don't think you're ever going to see him as a 6, in a group of 6 pairings just to play. I think it'll be part of a 7-man back end to roll out there.
So we hear a lot on the broadcast about how Florida, great on the forecheck, hitting everyone they see. What I didn't hear, and what I would like you to tell me, is what are the Florida fans and players saying how they're going to control the Leafs? Because when you look at the roster, the Leafs, to me, have more superstars than Florida. Like, to me, the pressure should be on Florida stopping the Leafs. And obviously they did in Game 1, but how are they doing it? Are they doing it by what they were saying about the forecheck and everything?
I think so. I think time and space last night was something Toronto really struggled getting. It was 3-2 in the third period there, and I don't know if you guys remember, there's a sequence Toronto did break out, and they're trying to attack the offensive blue line, and Florida had stacked the blue line. And again, it was like watching Montreal playoff series again, where Toronto's reluctant to dump it, and there's Florida standing them up, and you guys mentioned Gudis and Montour and Ekblad. Like, these guys are throwing their weight around, not giving up the blue line, saying, I dare you to dump it in. And Toronto, again, reluctantly wouldn't dump it. But like the forecheck, again, Clarkey, when you look at Florida's pressure and you look at their D, like their D are on top of wingers. There was no time for a winger to look up and get his head up and say, okay, there's a play to the weak side, or there's a bump to the center. Like, their D are right down pre-pinched on top, right? And Toronto, trying to break it, had to break the pressure by going out and away, back out the weak side. Well, that's a slow developing play, and that allows Florida to recover and get back on the D side. And, I guess that's going to be their game plan again. When you're playing better teams, and to Florida's credit, they did it against Boston, who just was as deeper than Toronto. So they've kind of found the recipe of success here, coming back from 3-1 down in that series to do what they did. And I think, Ryan, you mentioned it earlier about, Florida's run and last year losing, and what are they going to do? They're still kind of that same team. Well, they like this underdog role. Last year, they were the President's Cup team that had all the pressure and go prove it and show it, and it didn't happen. And you put in Paul Maurice instead of Andrew Bernard, and you've got these changes. And I think this is a group that right now is playing pissed off hockey, the chip on their shoulder that says, we are a great team, but we're going to play this underdog role. Kachuk's saying the Leafs are better and they're the best team in the league, and they're just buying into this. And Maurice playing the media on the officiating, and
I was going to mention that too.
Playing the cards so well, like how to go about being the underdog.
Yeah, and like Paul's got I knew Paul quite well when I worked for the Leafs, and he was great with us. But when he did this, the 5-1, like, first of all, there should have been 2, because Florida scored on a delayed penalty, so there was 2 calls on the Leafs.
Yes, and he counted.
It should have been this, because like what? Okay, so it's 3-2, and a guy gets high sticked in the face and is bleeding. Like, well, what do you want them not to call that penalty? Like, give me a break. Anyway, I love Paul, but I hope he goes down.
There, yeah, for sure. And Brooksy, you mentioned it. It's a powerful thing when you hit a group with it in the right tone. The us against the world thing, and everybody getting the shield out. It's it can be a powerful motivator, and they rose to the challenge in game 1.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens for the rest of the way, because I agree, just like round 1, that the Leafs are better than them on paper. Clarkey.
No, I was just going to ask Brooksy, how do you explain so many road teams winning so far in these playoffs?
I don't know. It comes down to pressure, I think, again, and pressure to perform, and maybe getting away as the home team, trying to be, fancy or cute or whatever, where road teams, like, again, we always used to say in the room, go play a good road game. You took the crowd out of it. It was so boring and dull, right? You just played your game. You weren't trying to impress anybody.
Yeah.
It's not your fan base, right? So are they saying that at this level? Probably a little bit, but just a lot more skill, right? So
it's going to be interesting. We're excited to watch how it all unfolds. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the second half of the show, we will have watched game 2, and we will break it down for you and reveal our picks, which, again, we made before the round started. We submitted them to producer Adam. We'll reveal our picks for round 2 of the playoffs. Brooksy, it's always a pleasure to have you on. What a thrill. 19 years in the making. Here we are. It's been great, and I hope the run continues, sincerely, for both of your sakes. Thanks for doing this, buddy.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it, and I look forward to getting together after round 2, and hopefully, Clarkey, we're going to round 3. So
you got it. You got it.
Absolutely. All right, we'll take a quick break here on Instigating. Back here on Instigating with Clarkey and Drury, brought to you as always by our friends at Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC here in beautiful Listowel, and of course the Listowel Squash Courts. Ryan, Drury, Clarkey, thanks to our buddy Jason Brooks for jumping on with us, just to chat about, obviously, the Leafs getting into the second round.
He's a dandy.
Brooksy's one of the best dudes ever, dude. I had lunch with him the other day. Next time we do it, you got to come, Clarkey. Dude, he's the man.
Yeah.
Longtime OHL
Absolutely.
coach, pro player. He's done everything. Sutherland Cup champ. Come on.
Yeah.
He's the guy you want when you're breaking stuff down.
Yeah.
Speaking of the second round, We got to make our picks. And we have made our picks.
I was 6-2 in the first round, by the way.
Yes, you are. You were very good. Good for you. We got these picks in to producer
I'm hurting
Adam.
myself.
Let's start with mine.
Okay.
I sent these to producer Adam on the opening morning of round 2. So here we go. Here are my picks. I love Oilers in 7. I think the Oil got a sour taste in their mouth. They went to the conference final last year. They think, hey, not good enough. We can go all the way. The Knights will give them a push. But ultimately, I think that the Oilers are just a little bit better than the Knights, who still have some injury concerns. I like the Stars in 5. I know I'm saying this after they lost an OT and Joe Pavelski came back and scored 4. Oldest player ever to score 4 in a playoff game, Joey P. The tipping magician himself, the best shot deflector I've maybe ever seen. I like the Stars in 5. They're going to do a reverse sweep. I just don't think Seattle can hang with them over a series. I think they're going to give them a reverse sweep. As much as I love the Seattle story, love Seattle. Starbucks, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. Come on.
The gum wall.
Like the gum Seattle? Wall. Yes.
You've been to the gum wall? I've been to the gum wall.
Little Space Needle action for you. Yep. I'm in Vancouver next week. Maybe I'll dip down there.
There you go. Who knows? Maybe you can catch a game.
Maybe I go catch a game. It's playoffs.
Well, no, but they might not be able. You might not be able to buy tickets if you're a Canadian.
Well, yeah, that's a fiasco. We don't even have time to dig into that whole thing. It's so dumb. It's dumb. It's up to you to build a consistent fan base to keep people out. You don't restrict. Stupid. As if Florida can't use the money, you know? Okay, back to my picks here. Oilers 7, Stars in 5. East, I like the Leafs in 6 again. I know they dropped a game again to a Florida team to open a series. I just think that they're better than Florida. They will be relaxed. They will be measured like they showed us finally they can do against Tampa. Florida will be a stiff test, but Leafs in 6. I love what I picked against them. But I cannot deny what the New Jersey Devils served me up on a platter. Excuse me, New York Rangers. No press releases from Jimmy Dolan about horrific acts of violence. No horrific act of violence to be seen here. I like the Devils to enact some winning violence in the win column. Nothing on the ice, okay? Against Carolina. I love the Devils in 7. I just think Carolina, like as much as I love them and they're coached real well, I don't like Rod the Bod, but I respect them. I just think they're too depleted, man. That Svechnikov injury, Pacioretty, I think eventually that will catch up with them. And the Devils, for the most part, are very healthy, and Jack Hughes is dancing. I like that Akira Schmid kid. He's got a great name. Akira Schmid. He sounds like a ninja warrior. Let's go. Devils.
There you go.
In 7.
There Clarkey. We go. Okay. Well, it's going to be pretty similar to yours, quite shockingly.
Oh.
Yes. Oh. In fact, I think it's going to be identical to yours.
No way.
So bring it up. There we go. So a couple of them are. I had a couple of games different, but Stars in 5, same as yours. I just can't see the cracking that nut, but you never know. I just think the Stars are too tough. Oilers in 7, same as what you said. I think it's going to be a hell of a series, but I just see the Oilers squeaking one out. Now the Maple Leafs in 4, I might have to amend that.
Oops.
that was a little I was a little overconfident. Okay. I was a little just a tad overconfident with the Leafs in 4. Now what I really meant was they're going to win 4 in a row. So they're going to win the next 4 and it'll be in 5. How's that?
I'm not willing to give you a pass on that, but okay.
It's the teams that count. We're not really going by the games. It's the teams that count.
Then what are we
No, I'm just saying. Like, my record was 6-2 in the first round, but I obviously didn't have all 6 of them with the right amount of games.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But I just think the Leafs are going to win that series. They're going to, if Bob cracks, which I think he's going to, the Leafs have beaten him. He can, and he can turn into a sieve real quick. Now they do have Lions as a backup, but anyway, I just think the Leafs are going to win this series. And then I have the Devils in 6. Okay. Akira Schmid versus Freddie Anderson. I'm not a Freddie fan, as you know, and
Yeah, I'm
I
aware
just think
of the
goaltending is going to be the thing that really it comes down to. And New Jersey beat a tough team in the Rangers, and I think they'll carry on.
Yes,
so
they
Leafs,
did.
Devils, Stars, Oilers, and right above the Y in Clarkey's, there's a little dot, and that's where the Leafs will be in a month or so, or 6 weeks.
Again, like I said with our friend Jason Brooks, I really think they can. I think they can win the cup. I really do.
Brooksy didn't say he
I'm
said
not even
it,
trying
but
to
he
be
said,
funny.
I don't even want to say it, but the stars are aligning. Every year, the team who wins the Stanley Cup has to come across a very good amount of fortune along the way. And 3 overtime wins, Boston getting eliminated, the Rangers out, Colorado out. The stars are aligning. This team's just got to get it in gear and go. And they can do it. They can. They can beat every team.
Yes, they can.
Left.
They're so
They
talented.
can beat every team that's left. They got to just prove it. They faced some
looked like a
adversity
man
in that
possessed.
first round, as
Yes,
we
they
talked
did.
about. You texted me adversity time, and they came through and won that game. So
Yes, they did.
let's see what happens. But I'm happy with where we're at after game one, even though we're down a
You
game.
should be.
Hopefully Thursday
Hey, man.
they can win.
Listen, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will be
Yeah.
reviewing post-game of game 2 of
Correct.
Leafs Panthers before we jump forward in time on the show here.
Yeah. Should we predict the score? for
Sure,
game
we can
two?
do that, but let me tell you this quickly. And
Yeah.
and I know you don't like when I do this.
Uh-huh.
When the Caps won,
You were down.
what happened? What happened in round 2? They lost game 1 and there was no Evgeny Malkin in the lineup. I was so mad. And they turned around and they beat the Dragon. They beat Pittsburgh. Leafs lost game 1.
There you go.
They're going to
They
be
lost.
fine.
And they lost game one.
Game
against
two, game 2
the
prediction,
Lightning.
which we will. Yes, they did. Game 2 prediction against the Panthers quickly, and we'll literally review it right after the break. What do you think?
6-3 Leafs.
6-3 Leafs. I'm going to go 5-3 empty netter. Mitch Marner, game winner on the power play.
Okay. Well,
What do you think
hopefully-
about that?
Well, we can talk about that tomorrow. All right,
We'll
after
literally
the game.
review
after
it
the break. I mean,
right after this break. Stay with us here on Instigating. Welcome back to Instigating with Clarkey and Drury. And here we are, as we promised, a day after the first half of the show. We wanted to wait until after game 2. Obviously, we know how game 1 went. It was a loss. Bounce back here. We were hoping. It looked positive, Clarkey. 2-0 lead after the first. It was 2-1, pardon me.
2-1.
And but they go up 2-0. Florida gets a late one in the first. Things are feeling pretty good. And then all of a sudden, why don't you give me? We don't really need to go over the first. I thought that they outplayed Florida in the first. They looked like they were ready to even this series.
Let's be serious.
Let's jump to period 2, which is where it really fell apart for them.
I didn't think the whole period was, but certainly the first 2 minutes were terrible. Giving up a goal in 19 seconds, I think it was into the period, and then another one. And it's like, what just happened? This team has not been giving the puck up like that all playoffs. We thought we were maybe over that, and it's like, what the heck just happened? And I'm pissed off. I mean, it's so frustrating.
Why?
Obviously, why am I pissed off?
Like what's the source? What would you say is the main source? Okay.
Just because you had a 2-0 lead at home, and you blow it, and you're down 3-2. I listen. I honestly, like, as you know, I was out tonight watching the game, and I'm driving home, and I'm thinking, gosh, like, I honestly think they outplayed them for 55 minutes of this hockey game. I really do. But they couldn't beat Bobrovsky, and they had no puck luck, and they had tremendous pushback, I thought, for the first 16, 17 minutes of the third, but then I thought they lost it and they couldn't get it back. And it's just, I don't understand how the breakdowns happen when you're up 2-1. Like, even I'm going to go back to the first period. They're up 2-0. They have a power play. They can't get another goal. Okay, fine. But then they're up 2-0. And a guy who has been fabulous, I think, all year, Giordano, pinches. And I'm like, we all yelled at the TV, all of us. What are you doing? Like, I know it's the first period. I know there's lots of time left, but you're up 2-0. Let's just play a little safe here and get out of the period with that 2-0 lead. He pinches, and what's happening all the time, all series long, and Boston will tell you, 10 seconds after a giveaway or whatever, it's in the back of your net. And it's like, you just can't do it. You can't do it. And I think it's going to be very interesting. I think Matthew Nyes leaving the game. I think Matthew Nyes, like, the Tkachuk elbow on him, and like I think the refs chickened out on an elbowing penalty. It was clear he targeted his head with his elbow. He got a charging penalty, but it was clear he elbowed him. And then
at least they
Sam
called
Bennett,
something.
Yeah, I agree. But then Sam Bennett, from what all indications, Ellie Friedman saying he like really just slammed his head into the glass. So
now the ice, yeah, he
slammed it into the glass, then put him down. He slammed him into the glass first, and then took him down. And then the cross check from Bennett again in front of the net on Bunting was exactly the same as Austin Matthews on Deline for the Sabres. Exactly the same. I watched them both side by side. They're identical.
So here's my thing. Let's get this part of the conversation out of the way. Right away. Here's my thing. I can understand the missing the Bennett one on Nyes because it's way behind the play.
And that's fine. I'm not saying there should have been a penalty.
No, I know.
Like I think there should have been, but I'm not blaming that. I'm just saying 100%. The league's got to look at that. That's what I'm saying. All three of those hits.
Absolutely, dude. So here's the thing. We've talked enough in the first round about how the refs are not the reason for this, that, and the other. We're not doing that again. Now, what I'll say is, so that happens. Then they catch Bennett with the cross check on Bunting. And yes, you can say what you like out there. Yeah, you can say what you like out there about Michael Bunting is a little over dramatic at times. He dives, whatever.
Cross check a guy in the neck. Cross check a guy in the neck.
You cross check a dude in the neck, and then you cross check him across the back of the spine. While he's down. Yeah. Here's what I'll say for Sam Bennett, who I respected. They call him Playoff Sam. He always raises his game in the playoffs. Yeah, he's one of those guys who's dirty for sure. You love him if he's on your team. The classic old adage. He is their Claude Lemieux. He's the guy that's always throwing the little stick out there, gets you with a little extra slash after the whistle, and stirs it up. Here's what I'll say for him, though. As much as I respect the intensity he plays with and his ability to consistently raise his game in the playoffs, you could maybe get away, in my opinion, from a suspension if it's one of those things. We have no idea what's going on in the brain of NHL player safety. We can say what we want and argue the refs this, the refs that. I legitimately have extreme beef, as most of us do, with player safety. And it's not because of this suspension, that suspension. It's the wild inconsistency of it all. Yeah. We have no idea what the hell they're doing. And I wish it would go back to the Shanny days where there were videos. Like this can't keep happening here. Both of those things happening, the Nyes wrestling slam and the cross check to Bunting's head, neck, ear, whatever. He gets them way up high. It is unacceptable to me for Sam Bennett to not miss at least a game. He has to be suspended.
He absolutely
has to be. You can't have both those things happen in a game and not get suspended. But George Peros will.
But you can't give a half a game. You know what I mean? Like both of those things should have been suspendable. Both of them.
They have to suspend this guy.
But I thought the Tkachuk elbow was targeting the head, just like Bunting did to Chernak.
It's playoffs and he won't get anything for that.
Well, but he got 3 games, Bunting.
I'm just
saying Bunting got 3 games for targeting the head. That's what they said. Targeting the head. You can't tell me he didn't. A, he charged him. B, he had the elbow up, and C, he targeted the head.
here, and I'm not trying to
But he
make you
won't.
mad
You're-
or anything. No,
You're
here,
probably
here.
right. He
I'm
probably
I'm
won't.
not trying.
Because George Peros is a goof. George Peros got knocked
He's
out by
terrible at his
Cold
job,
War,
guys.
and he's lost it. He must have. He must be losing it.
Well,
We'll see what happens. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, what I'll say is I agree that he's not suited for the job. I don't think he's good at the job. And it goes beyond him. He's the figurehead, but there's a staff of guys.
Oh, yeah. Stefan, what's his name? And
does it. Stefan Quintel's on it. Yeah,
every month.
Now,
Habs on it. Yeah.
I think the reason, and here's what I think their thought process is. This isn't me saying this. Here's the reason why Bunting got 3, because what he did to Chernak was way away from the puck, and he did not need at all to initiate that contact. Tkachuk hits a guy in a puck battle.
By the way,
that's
4
why
times suspended. Tkachuk, by the way. 4
I know.
times.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely, but he's not Tom Wilson, so they won't do anything to him.
Yeah.
So that's why with the Bunting thing. Now, again, though, I want to stress again, Sam Bennett should absolutely be suspended. If Tkachuk was suspended too, let me say, I wouldn't complain about it. I would say, yeah, he picked, but he won't be. But Bennett absolutely should be. And this playoff has made it even more abundantly clear that George Peros can't do this job. Jordan Eberle broke a guy's neck. Let me say that again.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Eberle broke a man's neck with a hit from behind. It was disgusting what he did to Andrew Cogliano. And Clarkey, you know this. My least favorite infraction in sports is the hit from behind.
Well, sure.
3 feet out from the boards.
Absolutely.
Made me sick. And then Cogliano has a fractured neck after that. Yeah. And he didn't get suspended. That should have been a 10-gamer. I don't care. Playoffs are worth this many games. That should have been a 10-gamer. One more time. He broke a guy's neck. Now I digress.
One day
Let's
someone's
talk
going to
about
kill
this
someone
game.
and they might get a game.
No, they won't.
Maybe.
No, they won't.
Maybe.
It's embarrassing.
Maybe.
Now, let's talk about this game a little bit here because we the second period. What I'll say in summation is, I think if the Leafs play the way they did in the first period and 18-ish minutes of the third, because when they pulled the goalie, they were scrambling a lot. They couldn't get Florida, just was taking all the ice away. Mm-hmm. If they play like they did for the first and majority of the third, most nights, they probably win that game.
100%.
They were generating chances. They had an abhorrent second period.
4 goalposts, 4 crossbars. Like,
they had a lot of chances. They hit posts. They did this. You got to find a way to bury them. But,
I agree. You got to find a way.
But the second period undid them. 19 seconds in, and all 3 goals come off of horrible turnovers. Yeah, you could excuse one. It's the playoffs. There's another team out there that's good too. And I'll say this for Florida, man. Of all the teams in the playoffs, Clarkey, and they did it to Boston, their stick checking is on another level. They are stripping pucks like I've never seen. Mm-hmm. That said, you could excuse one. Barkov 19 seconds in, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
the
baffling.
Second one is not only a bad turnover, it's a goal Samsonov probably wants back. And I don't know if you saw his post-game interview there. He dropped a little F-bomb.
Oh, no, I didn't.
You could tell he's frustrated. You'll see it on Twitter. The third one, for me, the game winner, is the most egregious one. And it's a combination of 2 guys. Marner, Nylander, I think it is, soft on the wall. No, it was Marner. Marner's soft getting the puck out. He sees Matthews in the middle of the blue line. He tries to get it to him instead of going up the wall.
He sewered Matthews. Matthews made a terrible play, but he sewered him.
Did. And that's what I'm saying here.
Sewered him.
You're 2 big guys.
Matthews had nowhere to go with that puck.
And Matthews gets it. And instead of trying to lower the shoulder and body into the guy, he tries to flip it. It's bad on both of them.
I agree.
I'll agree with you. It's worse on Marner.
Yeah.
But the Matthews play, instead of initiating contact and taking a hit, because your teammates are going to put you in a bad spot sometimes.
Yeah.
He had time to kind of drag and lower and take some contact to get that over the line. Instead, he tries the fancy chip because he wants to go. He sees it's one defender and he goes, I want to chip it around this guy and go for a run.
He had 1/60th of a second to figure out what he was going to do. And he's like, I agree. He just sewered. Like, all Marner had to do is backhand it on the board.
But what it is,
all he had to do. Just backhanded it on the board.
Of your two big dogs.
Pants. Look at this. I'm wearing a freaking Matthews Marner jersey.
Now, what I'll say though is Marner, that pass he made to O'Reilly was outrageous.
It was.
We saw the best and the worst of Mitch.
Yeah, we
tonight.
did.
What we can say, in fact, is that I thought, and look, people are going to go, well, Ryan, you're not a Leafs fan. You're just trying to stir a pot. I'm not. You know this, Clarkey. 3 years in a row, I've picked them to win in the first round. This year, they finally did it.
Yeah,
and I've told you year after year the belief I have in these guys and that I want them to do again? For you.
5 or 6 in this? 6?
I picked them in 6.
Okay. I said 4 straight.
So
the next 4 straight, they're going to win.
We're combining.
I still think they're going to win the series. I really still think they're the better team. But a lot of Tampa fans thought they were the better team.
Right. They haven't lost in Florida yet. And I'll say, outside of the atrocious second period where, by the way, this was crazy. All 3 goals off turnovers, Barkov's 7 seconds from turnover to back of net.
That's what I'm saying.
The second goal, 6 seconds from turnover, back of net. And then Marner Matthews one for the game winner, 8 seconds turnover, back of net. And you cannot leave forwards. I saw people going, Samsonov's got to get over and stop that puck. You can't leave a seam open that wide. Forsling had a tap in.
It's not his fault.
Samsonov couldn't do anything. Too many
errors before that.
Patrick was not stopping that. Like, come on. The second one, I agree. Samsonov probably wants that one back.
The third one, it looked like a dip, but whatever.
Come on here. Now, that all said,
Bobrovsky's stopping everything.
So it was a combo of a super bad second period. They started coming in waves a little bit more in the latter half of the period, but they had a bad second period. Let's call it 12 minutes.
Okay, fine.
Really bad 12 minutes, because after the 3 goals, Florida had some really long forechecking shifts. Outside of that, and the fact that they did get goalied pretty hard, I thought they were good. And if that hadn't happened, or you at least avoid one of those bad turnover goals, we're probably still watching the game. We're probably watching overtime as we record this.
I really thought they were going to go to overtime. I really did. How much time we got left in the show, Ryan? I want to talk about one other thing.
We have about 5.5 minutes.
Okay.
Please go ahead, because we got some sponsors.
I think it's time to look forward a little bit. Right? So, do the Leafs think about changing their goalies if Matt Murray's healthy?
No.
Can't do it. Do they think about going 11-7? 11 forward, 7D, and bringing Gustafsson in? Not Hall.
Maybe only because of, we don't know as we record this, the condition of Matthew Nyes.
Right.
Maybe. Goalie, no.
If Matthew Nyes is hurt,
he's made an impact.
It's almost
but what I'll say is,
I'm not saying you can't do this, but it's almost like they came out in the second period thinking, oh my God, this guy who's been a big force for us is sitting in the dressing room. That's what it almost looked like. Their heads weren't in the game. There's no excuse, but it almost looked like it.
Because as much as I like the kid and think he's like shown really well, like, let's be honest, coming in from college and playing this well, they're still good enough that losing Matthew Nyes, and I don't want this to happen. Let's say he was out for the rest of the playoffs, God forbid. That can't be what sinks them. As much as I like the kid, they're still good enough to win.
Oh, I know.
So
I agree.
Now, that said, though, I agree. Maybe they do shift to 11-7. Goalies, no. You don't pull Samsonov after that. He let one bad goal in.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else?
You just got to catch lightning in a bottle with something. You got to be able to be. And I thought they
could have done with some luck, right?
Changed. I thought the philosophy of shots changed halfway through the third period. Instead of shooting high blocker all game, they started shooting low for more rebounds. It didn't pay off, but they tried to do something different because they were just not having any luck with this guy. They had more chances. Like, I don't know what the chance is. I know the shots were like 36-29 or something, but chances had to be double for the Leafs. Had to be.
They had a lot of chances.
But again, you don't win by getting more chances. That doesn't do it. And like I said at the start of the third period to the boys tonight, I said, guys, this is like the biggest period this year. Like, we have to win this period. And they didn't. So they're making it hard on us. They never seem to make it easy, but hey, listen, a lot of teams have come back even this year from 2 down.
The Devils did it.
They did it last year. Tampa did it to the Rangers. There's teams that come
Washington
back
did it that year.
2 down all the time. So
I'm not feeling panicked at all.
No, I'm not either.
Honestly,
I'm just a little ticked off tonight. They should have been better, but we got to win the next one. Don't go down 3.
Here, so I like what you gave me a little springboard here. It's time to wrap things up here.
Yeah,
Leafs never make it easy on you. You know who will make it easy on you? Our friends at Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC. If you want to get a new vehicle, particularly, hey, if you want a truck, Clarkey,
trucks are good. There's a big clearance event going on right now with trucks. But the other thing is too, and I wanted to touch on this tonight because there's no question that Bobrovsky vision was great tonight. And the Envision, the Buick Envision. Right now, if you're a Costco member, are you a Costco member?
No.
Well, see, you could have saved $750 if you're a Costco member and you want to buy a Buick Envision right now and other select new SUVs. But come on down. The spring and summer event is on right now at Larry Hudson's. Weather's getting nicer, finally. It's been a brutal week. It really has. We've had snow this week on the lot, walking around trying to show cars in the snow.
No fun.
The nice weather's coming and the people are coming, and we need to stop Bobrovsky from having good vision, and we need people to come and look at Buick Envisions.
In an Envision. I like that a lot. Now that is advertising.
There you go.
You go. I like that. Good vibes. See our friends at Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC. If you have a dealer, go in there. If not, go see our buddy Clarkey. He will help you out. Remember, Hudson's has it. We also want to thank our good friends at the Listowel Squash Courts.
Yep.
You want to go and join up?
The Summer League is coming.
Summer League is coming.
Reach out to Alan.
Super easy to sign up and become a member. It is cheap as all hell. You're going to get so much value for your money. It's a 24/7 facility. You can play squash at 2 a.m. Yeah, you really can do that. And trust me, because I have. So go visit our friends at the Listowel Squash Court. Yes, I have.
When did you do that? Hold on.
A month ago. I went in there. I was like, I'm going to go in there. I did, absolutely, yeah. By myself. I just whacked the ball around for a bit. I just couldn't go to sleep. Man. I was like, I'm going to go in there and whack the ball around.
Wow, that's awesome.
And you could do that too.
Yeah.
Listowel Squash Courts, super easy to find online. They've got a website. They're on Facebook. Reach out to our buddy Alan MacArthur. You can become a member. You can watch this show. You don't need a membership to watch this show.
Look what I did tonight, right? Like I tried everything.
Tried the rally.
I tried the rally shirt. I forgot about the rally cap. I should have.
That's more of a baseball thing.
Done that. Yeah, I turned the shirt inside out. It worked once before.
Which the Jays could have used, could they not have? My God, the Jays.
The Jays, are they playing right now? Or they have their,
they got
season started?
four game sweep by the Red Sox. We're not talking about that.
Great.
You don't need a membership to be a fan of this show, but you can watch this show Friday nights at 8, Sunday nights at 9 with our friends on Whiteman TV. That's channel 6 for Whiteman subscribers. We debut on our YouTube channel Friday nights at 9. Follow us on social media at Instigating Pod. We will be back next week. I will not be on the show. I'm flying out to Vancouver. Me and my two best friends.
I can't believe this. I can't believe
an excursion.
This. It's like the biggest show ever. People are going to think you're suspended or on leave.
We can tell them that. you can tweet out, I've been suspended. I'm on leave. It's going to be fun.
Speaking of suspensions, we better be talking about some next week. There you go.
We absolutely better be. Clarkey's going to be on with great guests. As always, we appreciate you watching the show, sharing it, telling other people about it, and our great sponsors, Larry Hudson's and the Listowel Squash Courts. We will see you, or at least Clarkey will, next week for more Instigating.